Hello everybody and welcome to the final round of the Oakhouse Racing Xfinity Series here this season. Round 14 comes from the track Too Tough to Tame, Darlington Raceway, for the final 200 miles of our season. Myself, Ian O'Leary, and Jim Biggles going to take you through the action on what is going to be Logan Gill's crowning race, really. He's already 151 points ahead of Brad Compton. That is an unassailable advantage heading into the final race of the season. Compton himself pretty comfortable in second. There will be a bit of a fight for third tonight between Kevin Nowat and Chasen McCook. They're only 30 points apart. And there's a number of other positions further down the field, especially down the bottom end of the top 10, where it is very much likely to change. There is the schedule. We're almost at an end. We've been racing since the very first Sunday in 2026, and sad that we're coming to an end now, but we have had a long season. 14 rounds from Atlanta to Darlington through and most of the other racetracks in between. To be honest, certainly lots of iconic places in the Xfinity Series this season, and it all draws to a close here at Darlington. Good to have you alongside me. Good to be back, indeed, alongside you, Biggles. Good to be back. We were just talking before the broadcast about what this finale could be like, because this is the last race of this season. It's also the last race under the Oakhouse Racing banner, by the way. We're switching, and indeed the Discord has already switched to the American Sim Racer leagues now. We'll have more details on the coming leagues in just a moment. But Biggles, our final round from Darlington, we were pondering just how this race is going to go. It's such a difficult racetrack for our finale.
Yes, good evening, Ewan. Welcome, happy Easter, everybody. It's going to be certainly very interesting. I'll apologise that it's going to be a little bit more delayed. They're about to start the qualifying session at the moment because they just had to rechange servers at the last minute, so that they concluded their practice sessions. So they're going to get their qualifying in at the moment. It will be good to have the season wrapped out, of course. Will Logan Gill go out with the championship, of course, and the race win tonight? Wouldn't that be the way you'd imagine you want to wrap up a season? But who else could bring it? Maybe perhaps set a statement for the upcoming Season 3 to go out with a win, which is there currently at the moment. Looking for sign-ups.
So, let's tell you a little bit about the new season. So it is switching to the American Sim Racer banner. We will be continuing though with a Truck Series and an O'Reilly Series, as that name will change. Of course, we were still Xfinity when we started this season, so we're continuing on with that now. We're moving to Tuesday nights for the Truck Series, and the O'Reilly Series is taking the previous Truck Series Thursday night slot. So same start time, 7:30 Eastern, when the practice session goes live for a green flag by 8 o'clock in the evening. But yeah, moving to Tuesdays and Thursdays. The track schedule is pretty much the same, only the Truck Series going to Eldora, the O'Reilly's going to Bristol. Everywhere else is the same. 150 miles for the Truck Series. That's slightly more value for money on the Truck Series, because we've been having 125 mile races this season, so that's been extended to 150 mile. They both have 65% fuel caps. There will be a fast repair in the Truck Series, but not in the O'Reillys. There are less tyres in the Truck Series because the races are not quite as long in their series. 200 miles for the O'Reilly Series, as we've had here this season. You do need an Oval C licence. I don't believe, though, there is a cap on iRacing any longer, so you can be of any ability and join us here at American Sim Racer. The Discord QR to join is on screen right now, and it's $20 for entry into each series, or if you want to do both, $35 for the full package. So pretty excited about next season. Biggles will be live here on Motormouth Broadcasting starting May 19th with that opening round of the Truck Series, and May 21st on the Thursday nights with the O'Reillys. So a month and a half off on Tuesdays and Thursdays for us before we're back into it on Motormouth. Thoroughly looking forward to a new season. I've thoroughly enjoyed this season, and We'll be back again with Truck and O'Reilly Series racing once again. Very much looking forward to it.
And that's pretty good value for money too, I think, to enter a series. And you could do 35 for both. That's quite good, quite affordable for most people, and certainly a lot of fun, as you said, like with the just the open Oval C license required. It'll be so No more capping it to about 3K, I think it was. Well, Logan was allowed in with just over 3K, but that's going to be quite interesting. Maybe get a couple of people in there with those 9,000 iRating.
Did you guys make it into the right session?
Yes, sir.
Hello. I believe we're in the right session.
Okay, yeah, because I had to make a new one. I was just making sure, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. You're in qualifying at the moment, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, excellent. Thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're right.
That's okay. It's better for us to be in the right session than to be in the wrong one. That was Jason McCook, by the way, just panicking for a moment that we might not be that we might have been in the. Thankfully, you were on the ball, Biggles, with that because about half an hour ago you were looking to enter the practice session, wondering where it was, and indeed we got that sorted out early. So we are here and raring to go. Track has just moved along to the race session. It's 123 degrees Fahrenheit on the racetrack, which is scorching considering it's night time. But anyway, we'll get into that in a moment. Once we've looked at the starting grid for the final time in the Oakhouse Racing Xfinity Series, it's Ryan Wayne who takes a pole position, perhaps surprisingly over our champion in waiting. That's Logan Gill, who will be starting alongside. Just on the next row will be Kevin Nera, who starts from third. He's third in the point standings, looking to stay in front of Jason McCook in the points tonight. Jamal Love will be alongside. Brad Compton is starting fifth alongside Todd Slawson. That's row 3. Row 4, Hal Peoples and Jason McCook, who just joined us there briefly. Peoples slipped to 14th in the standings now. He's missed 4 races so far in this campaign. Rounding out the top 10 is Andrew Floyd and Frank Ranger to round off the top 10. Row 6 is Kenneth Boehm and John Russo, followed by John Edwards and then Jake Trockey. James Burns rounds out the 15 drivers in tonight's field from Darlington. 147 laps. It's a bit of an odd number, I know, but it is a bit of an odd racetrack. 1.366 miles. It's been this way since 1953, although the front straight and the back straight were changed around not so many years ago, so that the front straight is now the back straight, and the back straight that it was is now the front straight. If you see what I mean, that wasn't done too long ago, but yeah, it has been around for a long time. In fact, the very first moments of this racetrack actually being a thing is actually disputed. It's either late 1949 or early 1950, but you get the idea. It's quite a long time ago. It's got a lot of history, this place, Biggles. I'm sure we'll see a few drivers picking up their Darlington Stripe. I'm sure many of them have already got them from previous races. Running up next to the wall, it's perhaps the most dangerous in that aspect intermediate racetrack, in my opinion, because the fast line is to run next to the wall, and you don't have a choice in that, unlike a lot of the other intermediates where you can choose to get your car running well down low or up high. You've got to go well up high here at Darlington.
You do, and yeah, that's why you got to get yourself that Darlington Stripe. That's just the part of the racetrack, really. Plenty of room as well too on this racetrack, as you can clearly see. You can go 4 wide, you can go 5 wide. Not really recommended necessarily so soon in a race, but it is very much possible. It certainly makes for an entertaining racing.
Yeah, it certainly does. The temperature is plummeting, by the way. It's already 109. I think an oddity with the session has given us quite a high temperature to begin with, and it might well decrease throughout the day. But let's find out. 147 laps away from the finale of the Oakhouse Racing Xfinity Series here tonight. 200 miles from Darlington Raceway, set to get underway. Green flags in the air for the final time. We've already got trouble in the background. John Edwards spins up the rears as we come to green.
Luckily it doesn't go completely around, but you did see it. So far so good. The rest of the drivers down there, no changes apart from Jay Trockey up 3 there. James Burns up 3 as well. Make that 4 for Trockey. He's just got an overtake at the P10.
Good start for Ryan Wayne, who leads the field. No positional changes, actually inside the top 9. Jay Trockey, as I say, though, is moving into the top 10, and he's by far the best moving forward in this race. It's going to be a long race, though. 147 laps round here is a very, very long way indeed. And so I think you'd expect to see everybody just bedding in here and settling in for what could be quite a long run here at Darlington.
see how they get themselves up into full speed, which they would have by now, and they've just gone a single file at the moment. Not taking any gambles yet, because definitely you'll see that moment there. They will come out there and give themselves a little bit of a stripe under the fence.
It's Ryan Wayne getting the fastest lap briefly. Logan Gill goes faster than him, 2 tenths faster. And have a look at this. I mean, you said it earlier, Logan Gill's going to want to go out with a bang here. He's won the championship. He's going to want to go out with a win, and here he is applying the early pressure to the pole sitter, Ryan Wayne.
And keep him honest. Brad Compton looking pretty close there to Jamal Love, and that's the battle for P4 at the moment as Wayne goes even a little bit quicker again. Keys to overtake it around here at the moment. There, Ewan, because I'll get it right at some point, but going down the inside, we've got to remember to take care of your tyres a little bit too here. So if you fight a lot, you start scrubbing them, get more friction into those tyres. Friction equals more tyre wear.
I'll forgive you, by the way. I've not been here for a while, and it's 2 hours earlier than it was earlier in the season for you. So you can call me what you want for this week. There's the fastest 5 as we get through the first 5 laps. One of my favourite things to look at here of the graphics that we have, by the way. You do get some oddities. I mean, John Russo is not one of the top 5, nowhere near it, but he's clearly running fast a little bit further down in the field. As we ride on board here with Compton, scraping the wall off of 4. That will hurt the momentum coming up towards the start-finish line. There's 5 laps completed, and there are your fastest 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the right order as well, in the positions on the racetrack and also in the fastest 5.
There you go. And you can have yourself a little stripe under the fence every once in a while. That's okay. It's not going to do too much damage to the truck as long as you don't plough it in there. Will once again take that momentum away from your exit speed, like that, as you clearly see. But what happens as well too, as the race progresses further and further, you obviously kick up a lot of the marbles, and the marbles catch right up on the edge of that fence area there. So that's the area that will start getting a little bit more tricky for the drivers.
Oh, Luke's off of 2 that time for Love. He had trouble off of 4 last lap, and now getting on the power off of 2. Now, that's not a car condition. That was just a heavy right foot, it looked to me, for the 2 car. And here comes Compton. He's in the fence again, is Love. And Brad Compton's going to make an easy pass for 4th.
There it is. Nice and smooth. That's the way you get it done. For Brad Compton, up currently at the moment into P4. Further back, we got a nice little 3-way battle of emerging as well too, with Russo, Ranger and Floyd. Actually, it's more these 2 at the moment. Separation. We'll have to keep an eye on the front as well too, because Logan Gill's starting to just chip into Ryan Wayne's lead.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not too far apart. As far as the field spread is concerned, I mean, John Edwards is down the back of the field. I wonder whether he actually got a bit of damage from hitting the wall, spinning the rear tyres than he did on the run to green. But already 24 seconds off the lead after only less than 10 laps here at the front of this race. That is a long, long way. And if that is the case, then that traffic's going to be absolutely massive in this race. That's Floyd just at the front of this group, and then this is the train really, and these guys are already more than half a lap down. So we've got to be concerned about how long they're going to be on the lead lap for here.
It's going to be interesting at those drivers that they will be overtaking soon, perhaps. If they're going to just remain up on the high side, or if they're going to completely get out of the way. They don't have to, of course, getting lapped. It's not like blue flags that you have on road courses. You stay on your line and you force the other drivers to go around.
You very much can do. You can force the issue. But as you say, will they decide to do what many would maybe describe as the sensible thing and just get out the way instead? I think it's notable, isn't it, having gone from watching those leaders for the first 5 laps as we did to now going back as we did there to go and watch those guys further back, to notice the difference in commitment. The guys at the back sort of running almost 2 grooves lower than the wall there, just making absolutely sure that you don't get damage or whatever by running too close to the wall. But those guys at the front, you've got to be committed if you're at the front. You've got to get close to the wall. You've got to take a few risks, otherwise you're not going to be able to keep up with the guys like Ryan Wayne and Logan Gill out front.
That's exactly right. Actually, when they fall off a little bit. There's Frank and Russo still at it, but they're starting to separate themselves, if you can see there on the timing. So we get about 7 tenths to 6 tenths between all the top drivers, as it looks like Russo was showing his nose out there for Frank Ranger, but you have to go off that racing line, essentially this high side line. And it's very difficult just to jump on the inside line. Now you want to get on the exits, more the key here, but just Frank Ranger, make sure you're covering it off enough. Don't make any mistakes on the exit, and it should be always a difficult job to get an overtake done.
That traffic for the first time. Edwards is now 1 lap down already, with Ryan Wayne putting him 1 down. I wonder whether Gill got slowed down actually by that, because he's over a second off of Wayne now, or whether now has just gained it naturally. I think it might have been just natural, because Edwards is pulling off the racing line. That was Love again losing it on power there. Look at the difference as we go back here. Yes, he's just scraped the wall there, but he'll get away with that. And then he's sort of diamonding off the corner, if you like, just waiting for that last little bit there. It's not a smooth entry back onto the back straight here at Darlington Raceway. It's a real sort of jagged edge, if you like. This is a bit smoother. It's a bit more like it coming off of 4, but let's watch it again here as we ride on board with Kevin now, looking at Logan Gill. You want to sort of hit this first apex. There's that dotted line. You want to hit that, then try and get close to the wall. Use the height. There you go. Get close to the wall. Now coming down a little bit early there, but you want to hit that apex almost. There's almost a second apex there. That's what I mean about the jagged edge. The wall really does come at you at turn 2.
And those little grooves in the on the surface that you can see too, they actually have an effect on the drivers. Like if you slightly get the tyres in there and it will wiggle it a little bit. That's what I've sort of been told that from the drivers. I'm not a driver myself, but that is the situation. That it's laser scan, remember, in iRacing, so they get every nook and cranny right up to the millimetre. Bang! That's a hard lick into the fence. That's definitely going to have the exit speed right now for Kevy. I don't think he's going to be too happy. He want to sit back on this one. Double hit him as well too. So
yeah, that was harder, wasn't it, for Gill? Yeah. He scraped the wall last lap, but that was a proper hit. Now he's below. Oh, he's going to come up into Gill, and this is the danger of racing at Darlington. As you get down there, you go on the shallower banking, and it just shoots you up the racetrack. Here comes Gill with the response. He's only inside into turn 1, but he's tentative, and so is Nera. It cost you so much time to race here side by side. As you can see with the lead now, Love has got up past Compton, and he's going to take it 3 wide, coming down the backstretch at Darlington. What a move! That is from Love up to second place. Brilliant pass. Gill's holding firm on the outside though, and as long as he's got a nose in there, he's got a chance, but Love gets into second. He passes Compton, Nerat and Gill in the space of a couple of laps.
Absolutely impressive driving. That's just taking it, obviously taking it a bit easier on the tyres, I'd have to say. So you get the grip when you require it. Great battle at the moment, all these drivers from second all the way down to P6, as you can see, as the others are dropping back just a little bit. Compton was right on the back of this earlier. Ryan Ray would be loving it, because he's like, thank you very much. I got a 3-second gap now. What's going to be interesting is that these drivers in a couple of laps or so, I'd say there, Ewan will start coming up to that battle with Russo and Frank Ranger as well too. We're running down 11 and 12, so that'll be interesting having to navigate past that.
Yeah, indeed. Now, as this race wears older, they will be getting past faster and faster drivers. Here comes Nerat again. Kevin Nerat and Logan Gill fighting again. How many times have we said that over the course of Oakhouse Racing seasons in 2026 so far? Dally inside and Nerat's through, and Gill just gives him a tap to say, well done, but I'll get you back later. He's fine, though, to let Nerat go into third for now. Look at the way that Love has really shot off, by the way, here. 2.5 seconds behind Wayne. He's closing on everybody at the moment. Everybody's times are slower than their actual the actual best laps of the race, but Love was fastest on the last lap individually. Over the 5, Wayne is still faster in an average, but that's contact, and now there's bigger contact with Burns. Burns was given a shot, and Burns actually got in the way of Gill there, who ended up in the outside wall again, and it was Slauson who ended up hitting Burns there. Compton therefore gets back to the top 5.
Race leader's coming down the backstretch as well too, just gets past Burns. And next up he's got Ranger. I mean, it was, yes, sorry. There's Wayne. Those guys have separated from each other now a little bit. They weren't side by side battling, which is not something that Ryan Wayne would have wanted to see at all, because he doesn't want his 3-second gap. We see his 3-second leads drop back down now to 2, because you've got Jamal Love who's cruising. Looks like Burns has gone off somewhere, and he has. So we've got an incident from James Burns.
So, yeah, this was... No, he's trying to come to pit lane here.
Yeah.
And,
he's missed it.
No!
He's
missed it. It's so easy to do that here. And he's just towed. Well, fair enough. If he needed to come in that desperately, then fair enough. Floyd and Russo are not far away from being lapped here, and this could provide an opportunity for Love to really close in as we follow Compton. Logan Gill is either saving himself for later, or he is not looking good at the moment. Compton to the outside, it's going to get cramped. Oh, he just grabbed the fence there, just slightly though. Gill holding the inside line, protecting the inside line like it's a road course. Now he goes to the outside, Compton, and he should roar around into 4th place.
And Slauson's watching them behind. With a bit of nerves, I can imagine. So you got to be very careful here. I wouldn't be thinking about going in anywhere in the middle, my friend. This car's going to slide up into you and you're going to be in big trouble. Great racing entertainment for us, of course, and for the fans out there watching here this evening. Make sure you say g'day and hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying this.
I've enjoyed it so far. Does that count? Probably enjoy. I do forget sometimes just how good the racing is here at Darlington. It's because it's so difficult. I mean, some circuits I think actually, and this applies more in a road course sense really than an oval sense, but I think some circuits are so difficult they're actually not entertaining anymore to actually watch as a spectator. It might be fun to drive, might be a big challenge to drive, but they're not much fun to watch as spectators. This racetrack is not a bit of that. It is really challenging on the drivers. I think underrated, and I know people rate it highly as far as difficulty, but I think it's even underrated even so. And even despite that, we get brilliant races here.
Absolutely. When do you think these drivers are going to be looking at coming in? And Ryan Wayne's got to be keeping an eye out on that timer gap that he has to Love, because that's got down to 1.7. You can see Jamal Love there has been consecutively quick.
There goes Slauson, by the way, on Gill. As more lap traffic, just trying to stay out the way down the low side there. And fair play to the lap cars, by the way, who've been pretty good so far in their behaviour. There we go again. It's one of the Supras just pulling down low as that's how Peoples now trying to get past Gill. These two have been side by side many times in 2026 so far, and there goes Peoples into 6th position. I think Gill's got damage, and so he might be in rather soon. In answer to your question, we always talk about dividing this race up really into pieces. The 65% fuel limit means that it always comes around quicker than you expect, but I would say we're not going to see people aiming at a free stop today. I mean, the drivers are not even a second and a half slower than their best lap times at the moment. The drop-off hasn't been that severe. So at the very most, I think we're going to see a 3-stop race. That divides this race into 4s and pits you roughly on lap 37-ish, sort of late 30s. If you want to be even braver though and split it into 3rds, you could go to 49. Now, I think that could be a stretch, to be honest, on fuel and tyres. However, we'll see who goes past lap 40 and then judge just where everybody is in this race, because, as I say, the tyre drop-off is really not that bad compared to some other places.
Well, Russo's in. There'll be an earlier stop there. Like that, or he might have had a little bit of damage too. Got a couple of little stripes on the side of that car that he elects to, or needs to fix. We'll see how much his pit stop time is.
But also, that's in the 4-stop window. If he wants to do a 4-stop, it's absolutely in the window.
See Compton on the exit there.
That was Peoples with his nose cut off by Brad Compton. And Logan Gill just watches on.
Meanwhile, I think Ryan Wayne had responded to the attack from Love's thing, because he's got up back to about 1.7 seconds to the lead. So it got down to about 1.5, I think, at one stage, but he's responding at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's at least stabilised it. I'm not sure he's pushed it out too much further than what it was at a minimum, but he has stabilised it. There you can see the difference between them. It's very, very minimal. That's 500ths over 5 laps, so 100 of a second per lap. That's not going to be changing things too quickly, but yeah, he has stabilised it, because you're right, at one stage Love was really tearing into that advantage. Here is Peoples meantime getting past Brad Compton, and he'll be clear, and here comes the fight back from Logan Gill. So he's on the inside of Brad Compton now, looking to regain places. This is a very un-Logan Gill-like race, I must say, so far, but he's back to 6th now. Remember
how he's spoken in the interviews before, how he likes the car setup. He likes it to be a little loose. He doesn't like it to be too grippy, perhaps. You got to be able to feel the car slide a little bit, and just wondering if he's got the setup tweaked the way he does like it. And that's the kind of situation, because he does. You see how Logan Gill tends to slide around a lot more than a lot of other drivers, but he's still consecutively one of the quickest drivers, and if not winning the races as well too, with a car like that. He likes the car to handle. I just wonder tonight if it's rigged up that same way that he has. It doesn't seem. Whoa!
Gets close to the wall again. You're right, because actually I haven't seen that car sliding too much, so I do wonder if it is a bit too tight for his liking at the moment. I mean, the track temperature is still coming down. It's fairly warm though, and I do wonder whether it's caught him off guard. It's caught me off guard. There's the temperature's 97 Fahrenheit now, 36 Celsius. It was in the 120s Fahrenheit when we loaded in here. I don't know if you have any more experience with this than I do, but I cannot understand why the track temperature would be so warm when we loaded into the race session, and then it's just been decreasing at such a rate since. I don't know what that's all about.
I can tell you why, because you notice in the practice session we were in the daytime, and then as soon as it jumped over to the qualifying, it went to the nighttime, so I presume it was still calculating it from the practice session and then cooled it down pretty quickly, of course, to the nighttime racing, which we're doing here at Darlington now. I think that'll be the reason why.
That would make sense. I must say, I never noticed it happen like that before. I don't know whether that's also in a setting.
I think it was a drastic change, but from daytime to nighttime. Usually they're a gradual change, and that's the situation. Russo had to go down for repairs, so that did confirm that, and he had 2 minutes to change, but he is back out on the track. Kenneth went down as well too, but there was a scheduled pit stop for about 17 seconds, so that looks pretty normal for him. And he comes himself back out into P13. So we're expecting to see what the rest of these drivers. There's Wayne, who is in the lead and has led every lap in this race so far, quite comfortably. No one really applying pressure. There's a blinking car he's not going to want to have to see very soon when he's approaching up into the corners.
It's Jay Truckey, that. Up in front there. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. In the 46 car. He's a bit too far ahead maybe for that. Somebody else. That's John Edwards. Apologies, Jack. It's not blinking. But Edwards has been very good so far, just staying below the racing line and staying out the way. But Love is still closing, isn't he? Yeah. 1 second now, the gap. That's the smallest it's been. 37 laps now completed. We are getting very, very close to 1/4 distance, and therefore the pit stop window for those wanting to make 3 stops in a fully green race tonight.
So there it is. So attempt there, attempt here, there, and everywhere. You can get yourself back into this one, right up into the front. 2 positions gain there for Jamal Love. Once again, is he going to be thinking about trying a potential undercut? There it is. It was almost a flawless drive, but of course, once again, these tyres are starting to wear out. So that wall will inevitably get closer and closer and closer each lap. Oh, yeah, that cost him a bit.
Yeah. He's just overdriving it. You can't overdrive these cars at Darlington, and it will only get worse as you go along. And, just grabbing the wall in a couple of places here. There's Love. Well, it seems for the most part the drivers are going past 1/4 distance. That came at lap 37. We've now got to lap 40, so they're going to split this race into thirds initially, it looks like, as he was so close there with one of the lap cars. Doing their best to stay out the way, these guys who are laps down at the moment, but that was so close. These leaders are not conserving anything at the moment. They're pushing 100% already.
Absolutely. The exit speed at the moment, and that's Kevin. Kevin's just getting completely out of the way and saying, oh no, I'm going out of the way because I'm pitting.
He grabbed the inside wall there.
I think he did
was
too.
Coming in, you just got to be careful. There we go. It's so narrow on the way in there, isn't it? So difficult to get in, but this might kick some things off now. We're just past the 1/4 mark, but we're nowhere near the 1/3 mark yet, but he's the first one into pit lane, and now, to be fair to him, the lap times are more than a second and a half off of the best. Some are nearly 2 seconds off the best now, so that tyre drop off is finally starting to come in here, but it has taken a while.
Yeah, you don't want to be staying out there too long, obviously, if your time's there. Sawson's in too. If his times start to fall off and he's starting to lose at least a second, if not 2 seconds, to the other drivers around you, you've got to remember, you've got to make that back up later on. And that's all fine and dandy if you want to try that undercut, but you've got to allow yourself enough laps, obviously, in the race to be able to come back and attack if you do drop yourself a couple of positions. Race leaders in, and look how close that Jamal Love got. He must have got a better entrance into pit lane here, so we've got a battle on pit road.
Well, loves the third one in that queue there. Wayne the second. That's Jay Trockey he's got right in behind there in the 46, but it seems that we're reaching a limit here, so they were just waiting, it seems, for somebody to come in, and then they've all responded. So that's a bit of an odd pit stop sequence, to be honest, and a bit of no man's land really between the 2 and the 3 stop. Love has somebody right directly in front of his box, which isn't helpful. Wayne has got a nice clear entry into the final box in the lane. They're all going to take 4 tyres here and a full load of fuel. No point in playing tactics at this stage. That's to come with any cautions that we see a little bit later on in the day. Here come some of the others as well. As the 2 leaders are rolling, Love gets a great exit there. Trockey slows on the exit to allow the leaders to have their fight. And it's not good news for Wayne. He's on the low side here. They've got to stay low. Make sure you don't go above the line until now. And look at the exit from Love. It's already a defensive shape that Wayne is showing now to Jamal Love just in behind. Coming into 3 and 4, we've got a proper fight on for the race lead.
And they cleared themselves 9 seconds down the road to Kevin Nurat, who came in a couple of laps earlier. But the thing is with these drivers as well, too, is they've got a bit of this traffic to deal with at the moment, so they're trying to still get back up at a full speed.
This is not the ideal moment for traffic, although when is, I suppose, out of turn 4. It's a better exit from turn 2. Sorry, no, it is turn 4. I'm getting confused with the modern day pit straight and the old one as well. Maybe I was right the first time. Anyway, Love was very close there as traffic was in front. Here's the front straight. And he couldn't quite take advantage on that occasion. Look at the traffic they all had in behind them. They've all come through that now, and it's into clean air where Wayne has a bit of an advantage.
Todd Slawson's come out there right there next to Kevy. Jay Trockey comes in for his pit stop finally, and we haven't got John Edwards out on the track there that haven't taken a pit stop just yet, so we'll see if it pans out, as you can see there. So all the tyres have been taken. That's a bit of a drop off there too.
Sorry, a second trip down pit lane for Trockey. He'd already made his 4 tyre change, and now he's in again as Gill gets past Howard People.
So didn't get any repairs at the moment. Gill's pit stop was a 15-second stationary. That's pretty normal. Most of the drivers are hovering around the late 14s and 15s. So whatever it is, he elected not to get anything fixed currently at the moment. Fastest man on the last lap was Kevin Durant up the road here, currently running a P3 with the number 88 of Todd Slawson right keeping him for company.
Couple of battles up and down the field, the one for first, for third and for fifth. Although Gill has just seen off Peoples, you'd expect him to run away. That was a nice slide from Slawson. You saw the way he got close to the wall there through the middle, then he grabbed back for the apex and he got close to the wall and the exit as well, suggesting that he really maximised that. That's a little bit of a high line as well from now, although that's okay through 3 and 4. Oh, and a big slide from now as well. He's not quite as comfortable on these new tyres as Todd Slawson is. He goes to the inside and car 88 is now into third.
Could also be a strategy of taking care of him as well too. sometimes some of the drivers do that. They just don't want to have to be necessarily battling and choose that a little bit later as they get some traffic up there at the 022. That's Kenneth, yep. Well, you had Jay Truckee went down again. He's got a black flag. So he might have got caught speeding. One. Yeah, he's had to go through. Said that, my friend. John Edwards is back down pit road as well, too. Yeah. Chipping out some damage, it looks like, from Edwards because he's been there for 50 seconds stationary.
Yeah, he did hit the wall off coming to green, don't forget, when he spun up the rear tyres. So that might be the damage he's looking at. No faster pairs in the O'Reilly Series, don't forget. I'm getting into next season already, the Xfinity Series, sorry. And indeed the O'Reilly Series next season. That's where we differ from the Truck Series, which will be now on Tuesday nights, in case you didn't see. The American Sim Racer Truck Series will be Tuesday nights here on Motormouth Broadcasting, starting mid-May, rather. There's the schedule. And there's the O'Reilly Series as well. Hopefully these guys returning as well for that opening night at Daytona on May 21st. 7:30 Eastern practice time opening, and we'll be live just before the green flag at 8 here on Motormouth as we breach 1/3 of this race already. This has been a fascinating 50 laps, I've got to say, Biggles. We haven't had any cautions to close it up, but we've not been short on battles to watch, that's for sure.
Don't you jinx it. Don't you jinx it. It's been good racing at the moment. Although I'd have to say, late into the race, a nice late caution will certainly spice and dice things up there for perhaps anybody to be able to bring it to Wayne and Love currently at the moment, who are the two that have got themselves a nice little gap of 7 seconds up the road there, the top Slaughter, and as you can see currently at the moment in front of Kevin Narat. All those pit stops have been concluded, as you can see, with McCook taking some repairs on that pit stop. So the Compton Ranger and Truckee.
Yeah, it's been great to have that information throughout the season as well here, although on this occasion not too much difference around. Jason McCook. Well, it says repairs. That could have been a penalty, to be fair, because it was 40 seconds.
Oh, yes.
But, but obviously iRacing doesn't tell us that, so we can't get that information. Brad Compton's ended up a long way down, hasn't he, after his long pit stop. He needed 1 minute 51 to complete his repairs, but he's clearly got a quick race car, and there he is, top of the fastest 5.
Yeah. In that P10 position. They'll be on the back of Kenneth pretty soon, actually, I would imagine. So I might switch the cameras down and have a look. There he is. So I think he might be zooming on Pi any old second here. I don't think there's too much of a fight there. Kenneth as he continues on, because he wants to continue on to keep doing those lap times that he's doing consecutively, so he can catch himself back into the. Go ahead.
Just while Kenneth Bum's on screen there, I really like that livery. It's very simple, but see the way he's got this. I don't know how he's got the white paint almost down below the grille there or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I know it's one of the few Fords which maybe allows him to paint in places you otherwise wouldn't, but that's just a really smart livery, I think, especially from the front.
There you go.
Maybe just me.
Oh no, I don't mind it. You're right. So Wayne and Love, there he is. So they're keeping each other, keeping them honest, that's for sure. But every time he's kind of attacking, I'm just wondering at the moment there too. There, Ewan, if any of the drivers want to take a gamble there and just jump a whole bunch of positions in the pit lane and just only take 2 tyres rather than a 4.
Yeah, we might see that. To be fair, given the tyre wear that we've seen not being as bad as some other tracks, I mean, there are some tracks where you just cannot even think about that. You can't even contemplate it. I think you can here. While we're having long green flag runs, though, I don't think we're going to see it. You will gain time, of course, quite a lot of it.
Yellow.
Long green, as we've got a caution, we maybe are going to be open to that sort of thing. It's Jay Truckee who's spun off of turn 2.
Yeah, poor Truckee's just not having the races at having a speeding on pit lane. And now, there it is. And the exit's trying to hold on to it. I think it's going to slide right up. Actually, I don't think it does hit the fence. Yeah.
Oh, no, he does.
That's a hard snap.
And that was Slauson and Nerat just behind, wasn't it? That would have been quite a scary view for them.
Must be just
Well,
fighting
to say,
here. Look, there.
Ouch.
Well,
Oh, you can see why that's a meatball.
to pit or not to pit? That would be the question, isn't it? Because
Yes.
they've just come down before. So it's an interesting situation. Well, they are answering the call. They're not going to take the risk. But tyres or not, too. Because, you've just come down about 10 laps earlier. So do you really need to change those tyres? This could be an advantage of some of these drivers at the moment here. You want to try to jump up a couple of places here.
I'd expect guys who are laps down to stay out here, or at least I think they should do. And Compton's the only one who is staying out. Floyd was going to get the pre-pass anyway, so he should have come in. But anyway, Compton is now going to be 2 laps down, and he's going to fight his way back to the lead lap if he can, possibly. There's just less than 90 laps to go here. Now, they might be able to stretch the field to make this on one more stop from here, but let's see what they do. That looks like a quick stop down the field there from somebody. I don't think they're on the lead lap, actually. Slauson, though, does take 2 tyres, as does Gill, Nerat and Peoples, and they are the first 4 off of pit lane. Also off very quickly there was Chasen McCook, I think, in the 14 to take 2 tyres, and that's why he's now 1 lap down. Is that McCook down the bottom of the screen there, or is he? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So he's now 1 lap down after a short pit stop from him. That was smart.
Absolutely. So the interesting situation, you can see fuel, but it is actually 2 stop. It's not just fuel, isn't it? We saw that they took 2 tyres, I think. It was hard to say.
We'd have to look at their pit stops to know, because could have been only fuel, but I personally suspect it was 2 tyres. Again, you'd have to actually see it. There's the wave around, though. As I say, Compton's going to get 1 lap back, as is McCook, although he needs to go and do it. There we go. So let's just actually watch these pit stops and take in who goes up on the jacks here and who doesn't, just before they go back to green. I know they're coming round to the green in a second, but let's just check who goes up on the jacks here and actually takes 2 tyres, following Todd Slauson here, who actually got out first onto the racetrack.
It's going to speed it up so we don't waste too much time there for a second, because here's our current leader. So does Todd go up on the jacks?
So comes to a stop, and no. So maybe it was no tyres from all of them.
Well, there was definitely tyres taken for Wayne and Jamal
but
Love.
they definitely took all 4. Gill didn't seem to be on the jacks either, so I suspect it was a no tyre change from those 4. Look at the difference, though, for this. As they come to the restart, the lap cars in the background are just getting themselves into shape in time for the green flag to wave again from Darlington. And look at the old tyre runners getting up to speed. Ungainly, but they're on old tyres here compared to the new. It's not going to be a massive difference, but Wayne should be in the lead here without too much trouble.
I would imagine some of those back markers, as somebody goes a little bit wider, there were some of those back markers would have full speed, remember, when they came up there with temperature to their tyres, so they would have had a bit of an advantage catching the pack as we went to green to go. Wayne at the moment can't afford to be held up. He knows at the moment that he's got that gap over to Jamal Love now too. He's stuck in that P6 position, so much as a gap that he can get and take advantage of these tyres early and get himself back up in the front, a smile on his face.
Indeed, there will be. As they come down in towards 3 and 4 again. Look at this from Gill. Again, I think the guys who've not changed tyres there have made a great call, because the difference is negligible, really.
Yeah.
Even after 15, 20 laps. This is a 15, 20 lap difference in terms of tyres. Yes, Wayne is definitely quicker, and he slots himself in front of Peoples there, but you can barely tell the difference, to be honest, visually. And at some tracks, you can really tell the difference very, very quickly.
Some tracks, as you said, you're going to just lose far too much time and have absolutely no traction out there if you do. not change the boots. But at the moment, here it is. You can see. You think Jamal, these drivers up ahead. We got showing a black flag for Todd Slauson. So something's interesting about that one is Kenneth has had a crash somewhere as well. What's happened to Kenneth? There he is. Get going. Might be okay.
Yep, no caution. He was the one who was really loose off of 2, by the way, on that restart. You saw on the way down below the apron. There is the spin. And that's far enough off the racetrack to not cause us any trouble. Wayne does take the lead from from Slauson, who comes in for his black flag. No idea what that would have been for.
And because there's, there is race control, but it's a drivers at the moment doing race control, so it'd be very difficult for them to be able to clear that black flag. That could have possibly been set by iRacing itself.
That's a puzzler. Maybe something has gone wrong for Slauson. He's had to actually stop in. He's just driven through the pit lane, sorry, but it does nearly cost you a lap. He'll have to fight hard to even stay on the lead lap now. Jamal Love has not got through the traffic quite as efficiently as Wayne has, and that's costing him a bit in this race. He's now moved up only to 4th place.
And Wayne back up to the lead of this race, where he likes to be comfortable at and has led majority of his laps. Howard down the road there under a bit of pressure there from Logan Gill. Once again, these drivers know that they've got an extra set of tyres that are available to them, whereas Wayne and Jamal Love did use them. Adventures you can see there. Even Jamal, I think, had a little bit of a tap.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're on old tyres or new, you're likely to find the wall. But Gill's resurgence here has been very impressive indeed. There's the breakdown of the pit stops. The graphics indeed correct that it was fuel for most that pit stop, but maybe the 2 tyre call that you floated earlier wouldn't be such a bad idea. A little bit later on.
That's what I thought. Might be a go, especially if some of these drivers in order to jump up in that position, because it's going to be more difficult to do it on the track, isn't it?
Oh, hello.
Round the outside.
Oh, look at this. Love round the outside. That's why you don't let your rivals onto your outside hill. Though there's contact. Gill very nearly turned Jamal Love. And here comes Kevin Nerrat now joining as they slow one another down. Love's now going to get the position. And I feel like Gill let off early there just to let him have it after he very nearly turned him on the front stretch.
That's bold and brave, isn't it? Yeah, for leaving the outside line over there. And Jamal had to go for it. And he knows he's got a little bit better traction on those tyres to trust that he has confident he doesn't just slam it straight into the fence. He's put the pressure on Howard for P2. He wants to get back up there and catch that man leading this race of Mr. Wayne so that they can resume that battle that they were having for P1 and P2 earlier before the first caution of the evening. And there he is back up to P2.
Look at the gap though to Wayne, as we've said, and we'll reiterate, 5 seconds. This run is barely 10 laps old, but Wayne has been able to get through the traffic much more efficiently and therefore has a much bigger lead. Peoples, Gill, Nerrat, and that's a lap car then next in line because Floyd is in 6th place.
Yeah.
Did a good job to get the wave around last time round and is now racing for the top positions. Lawson and McCook are going to be hoping for a caution sometime soon so that they can get themselves back onto the lead lap as well. Don't forget Compton took the wave around last caution too. He's only 2 laps down and we're still in the first half of the race. He's got the time on his side to get back onto the lead lap.
What's interesting about Compton is that they're out of sequence of the pit stops of these drivers too. So he's been out there for 29 laps and Floyd's been out there for 29 laps currently at the moment. So they will have to try that alternative strategy. Next situation, perhaps just that maybe one more pit stop rather than 2 between them. You think, Ewan?
Well, I think it's very close on the limit. The first, I don't know if you have this information on there, the first stops from the likes of Wayne and Love on the green, I think came at around 42-ish laps, was it? 40, 41,
Yeah, I think
43,
it was
something around
it was
there.
around 42, yeah. And
Yeah.
we had that caution.
It was early 40s, so if we take those stops at lap 58 to when there were 90 laps to go, they need to really be in the mid-40s on the grid. Now, at this stint, they might be able to, because there was a bit of caution at the beginning, but if this race does run all the way home, and there's a 45 laps green flag run to the end on one tank of fuel, are these guys going to be able to make it, or are we going to be in a fuel game?
That'll be an interesting situation. Yeah, that caution definitely threw a spanner in the mix there for these drivers, and they're wondering whether or not they were going to all come in and try something different. And we did see that little bit of a split strategy between some of the drivers taking just fuel only, fuel and tyres, for the likes of Wayne and Love, and that's the reason why they're also in the lead of this race. But 4.4 seconds is the gap between P1 and P2, so I wonder if Jamel's just going to continue to put his head down and just go slight bit quicker per lap average, which it looks like he is.
Yeah, again, I think he's the fastest driver in this race. I mean, easy to say that when I'm looking at that graphic in the bottom right, but I think we've seen it time and again. His efficiency through the traffic there wasn't good, and that would worry you a little bit going into a late race run if that's what it came to. Passing quickly didn't seem to really be happening for him there. However, when it's just Wayne and Love on their own and they're pounding out laps on a long green flag run especially, I think Jamal Love is the fastest driver in this race at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see whether that's what it comes down to. It could be one of these guys, because don't forget, Peoples, Gill and Nerat, who we're all seeing here, these three have saved a set of tyres compared to those two out front. So if there is some late race cautions and it's a little bit more caution-y towards the end, these guys will have a set of tyres that maybe those up front will not.
That's exactly right. I think that will come to their favour, but that's a gamble, of course. They're gambling on the cautions, potentially to switch things up. If you were Jamal Love, you'd want to try to absolute best, isn't it, to get a slight quicker pit stop than Wayne. Get out ahead of him as McCook comes in. Just get out ahead of him, because I don't know if Wayne's going to be able to catch him on race pace overall, because we know that Jamal Love is probably, as you said, the quickest driver out here this evening over a long run. That'll be quite interesting to see. And Ernest McCook is just, I wonder if it's just a regular scheduled pit stop. When was the last time he was down?
He took fuel under the caution, but he didn't take any tyres.
Oh, that's an interesting strategy call there.
Those tyres will be about 40 laps old. I think that's why he's in.
Yeah.
So he's not interested in trying to make this sort of with only one more stop to go. And to be fair, these guys who didn't take tyres probably won't be interested. Oh, that was a hard hit from Nerat. He was following the other two, but he just went a little bit further out of line, and that was a pretty big hit. He's damaged.
Yeah, I think he is too. He's struggling a little bit.
Immediate. The way he lost time there through 3 and 4 was absolutely immediate. See through here. It might be okay. It looks to me through 3 and 4 like he was really not at it, but maybe he was just going a bit further away from the wall to compensate for the fact he absolutely smacked it off a 2 that time.
And that's Compton behind him too, because Compton's wanting to unlap himself. So
is that Compton?
Yeah, that's Compton.
Good grief.
There he is. So
going well.
Yeah. And you know he's a couple of laps down.
He hasn't taken tyres either, by the way.
No,
he's legitimately faster than these guys.
It'll be quite difficult for him to see if he can get past these drivers as well too, and he wants to get up to the leader and try to get himself at least one lap back. But and then of course if he gets the lucky dog, potentially at the moment he'll get the lucky dog if it goes to a caution.
Oh, Slawson's there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you're right. Slawson is, but hasn't been. Kenneth's in now. Pit stops.
Oh, there goes Nerat. That was tight. Gill just about giving the space on the outside. Now they're giving each other. Look at the way that Peoples gets away just through one bit of side-by-side. Nerak gets in front. He's now into 4th. Logan Gill down to 5th position.
Oh, yeah, they're struggling. Remember, these are the drivers too that we know, Ewan, did not take tyres in that last pit stop, so they're cranking up the laps on them now.
I'd be in now if I were them. Like, looking at the way these tyres are going, this is now longer than anybody went on tyres before, and there was a heat cycle put through them with the caution here. Oh, that's someone in the wall in front. I mean, you don't want to catch a caution when you've just pitted, and that's what will be concerning these guys at the moment. However, these tyres are not looking too good, and they're continuing to lose time to the leaders. It's becoming more pronounced now. As I mentioned earlier, for 25-30 laps, the tyres are solid, to be honest. But once you start going past that and getting towards 40 and going past 40 laps, which these guys have now, these tyres are having a big difference. They're 2/3 of a lap down now, these guys, nearly. They've got to be in my opinion.
Yeah, you're getting into the into the 32s now as well, too. Look at that. So usually on the fresh tyres, they'll learn the low 30s. Now they're in the 32 marker, as you can see, from 4th and 5th. So Todd's on fresher boots. So no, he was fuel only. My apologies on that. Lap 58. So he's doing pretty good at impressive times. But once you start getting into those 32s, and if you get into those 33s, yeah, you're dropping too much time, aren't you? You got to think about coming down pit road.
Yeah, Slauson is impressive, but he's only just in the 31s there.
Yeah.
He's not definitively in the. Oh dear! And there's the shot of new tyres. Chaser McCook bringing his average down now, and that's going to start to climb the leaderboard. He's way faster than everybody else. I do think they might be sort of trying to get themselves into a position where they can pit and make it to the end on fuel, but I don't worry about that. There might be another caution. I think 2 stops from now to the end for them is a better idea anyway. So I don't know what they're waiting for now. And even Jamal Love is in, so he's not waiting. He is using all of these tyres as if it's a rule that you have to. Of course it isn't. But he's behaving like you have to use all the tyres. And he's pulling off, not in his pit box.
Whoa.
He's tying back to the lane. That is such a shame. Jamal Love is having trouble here. And it might be out of the simulator where he's having trouble. Kevin now finally does come in. With 60 laps to go, I think that is a good call. But Love is out of contention for this race at Darlington tonight. That is a huge shame.
Yeah, clearly what we suspected as being the quickest driver, if not one of the quickest drivers, and that tow has cost him a ton of time. He's still there in the pit box. So there's Kevy. He's going to take some freshies. We'll take 4 freshies or 2. Looks like he's going to take we'll take the 4. So he's in. Floyd's in. Compton. Jamel is out. You are right. That's a retirement, unfortunately.
What a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. I do like to see a driver come into the series having not done all the races or whatever. He's already done 1 race, it's Jamal Love, but so it's not his debut. But I do like a sort of a bit of a wild card entry coming in doing well, and he was doing so well there. Unfortunately, no longer. That was contact. Chaser McCook muscling his way past somebody there. That's actually he's unlapping himself there.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that was aggressive.
So Logan comes
there
down.
Goes Logan Gill.
So these drivers are coming down 2 separate laps,
Only 2 on the lead lap now, but yeah, as you say, people absolutely taking on many different choices here with the latest pitting lap.
Pulls up in the box. The pit crew will be running out, jumping over the fence, over the wall there to service the car. We don't see it, but the drivers will actually be seeing their pit crew doing that, and he'll take it out all 4 freshies. A full tank of gasoline. Will this be enough to take it to the end? Really the question.
I'm going to say no. So 57 to go. That's too far. Slauson's in too.
Tell you what, it's nice that they're all doing it on separate laps, so we can actually have a good chance at looking at all that individual pit stops.
Yeah, that is true. They all rather came down at once in the first round of stops, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Earlier.
And then we had the first caution. Yeah, and then they all decided to come back down again.
Yeah. I think the difference in strategy through that caution has contributed to spreading them out here. It's not by design, I don't think. I don't think people are coming in because the pit lane's free. I think it's just by design, or by coincidence rather, the strategies have all been scattered by that first and so far only caution of this race.
And it's going to be confirmed, isn't it, that Ryan Wayne's going to get the additional points for the fastest laps, the most laps led, because there's no way anybody else is going to beat him now. All they can get is 55 at most.
Yeah, we already know who's led the most laps in this race. That's how dominant Ryan Wayne has been so far inside the first two-thirds. Final 70-odd miles, though, of this season, and you just never know what can happen. If this race stays green, Ryan Wayne absolutely holds all the cards. But if there's a caution, and there's many of them, and he runs out of sets of tyres, then he'll be regretting the decision he made under the first caution of this race, that's for sure.
That's right. That's the thing about oval racing, isn't it, compared to road racing generally, as you're aware of there, Ewan, is that look at the way, that's car sliding. That's Logan Gill. He likes it loose like that. He likes it. It looks sometimes that he's out of control, but that's the way he likes to drive the car. As Howard comes in, there.
I do think your comment earlier about that, by the way, I think he was too tight early in the race.
Yeah, he might adjust himself in the pit stop, isn't it? Because you notice he's been quicker, I think, since he's been out. Yeah, you can do minor adjustments, of course, in these cars, in pit road. I think that's the way you do it once again. It just looks like that's the way that Logan Gill likes to drive it. As we've spoken to him before, he likes it to get loose like that. We'll see anyway what his lap times are soon. As
lap
said,
himself?
Yeah, some more, that's right, just gets past Wayne, doesn't he?
So only one lap down now. But Ryan Wayne is the only driver on the lead lap.
Yeah.
This feels very old school NASCAR now.
So Howard came out. He's coming out now. And he's going to slow himself in that P4 position. He still have that gap over Andrew Floyd, in P4. But we're just a big question at the moment there. When is our race leader going to come down to pit road?
I think he's going to try and make this his last stop, which would mean that the current scenario has everybody stopping one more time from this point. And that, as I say, it means that Ryan Wayne holds absolutely all the cards. However, he's going to have to go a little bit further than this. That's pitted on that 58 with every... And there's a caution anyway. Well, this throws it up in the air.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get a wave around because Ryan Wayne's going to come in, you'd imagine. However, only Logan Gill will get back to the lead lap. Kevin Nera, Howard Peoples, Andrew Floyd, Todd Slauson and Chaser McCook will all be one lap down, and this is what's brought out the second yellow. Or is this earlier, Kenneth Bowe?
It could have been
again, or is this from earlier?
Oh no, I think this is on lap 60. So I was just trying to find where it is.
Earlier.
Yeah, it's a bit earlier. So we're on lap 98. I can't specifically see anything that caused it. Well,
okay.
Mate, we must have missed it. Might have been just a car that's turned
there
around.
Might not be.
Yeah.
There might not be anything to actually look at. Less than 50 laps to go, though, and Wayne is going to have to come in. In a fantasy world, he'd like to trap everybody a lap down, but actually that would hurt him more than pitting in here. So he's going to have to come in. I mean, anybody who wants to get anywhere near the lead lap here has got to stay out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And under this caution, doesn't matter whether you're low on fuel or whatever, you've got to stay out here. Floyd is coming in. Why would you do that? Well, why would you do that? I'm not sure when he last pitted.
Well, he's only done
9 laps ago, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
What is he doing? And McCook, they might be banking on the fact that he's going to do 4 tyres and they can get a bit of a splash of fuel and come out still and get ahead of him. But goodness me, why would you take the risk? I've got no idea.
Well, maybe if you just feel that you might need that little bit extra fuel to take you to the end. Situations. 49 laps, remember, so by the time we get going green there, it's going to be about 48 to 47. Just enough,
I'm not sure they can get home. Not sure they can. He's up on the and he's going here in a sec, Wayne. So Floyd and McCook there have made a really bad error, in my opinion. I mean, they'd still be one lap down. It's not like they'd be on the lead lap, but even so, that's a pretty bad error as far as I can see. They haven't been in that long ago, and you can't make it to the end on fuel from here, I don't think, unless you fuel save. I think the gaining the lap was much more valuable, but they've seen it differently, clearly.
I'm going to be wondering now to see how this how Gill is now that it looks like the car's a lot looser for the way he likes to drive it. If he's going to be able to really bring it to Wayne here at the race restart when they bunch themselves back up, that's going to be the interesting situation. We can clearly see at the start of the race, just didn't seem like it was the usual Logan Gill's dominance that you see in races. Our championship winner for the season here. But that'll be the case now. If he's comfortable with it, well. Let's see if he's going to be able to bring it to Ryan Wayne, who's dominated this. He's just catch us up the pace truck now, and the lights are off the pace truck. So this is going to be very interesting. We're going to have cars at all sorts of crazy speeds coming in.
It's going to be mental. Gill is actually not going to line up side by side with him because he got the wave around. He's got to start behind Wayne. This is going to be the weirdest looking restart you've ever seen, with only two there and the others tearing up to the back. McCook does get back to one lap down, by the way, so apologies to him. He has done well there to get a bit of fuel, and indeed only one lap down. Edwards is this is going to be a mess in the background. If you like orderly restarts, then look away now, because this is going to be the opposite of that. Here come the lap cars in the background. Chaser McCook's got a black flag. He might have waved around illegally, I'm not sure. Anyway, there's two on the lead lap, Ryan Wayne and Logan Gill. I don't think either of them can make it to the checkered flag without stopping again, but let's wait and see. He holds it for a while there, Wayne, so that the lap cars have to slow down in the background and hit the brakes, so they're not going to hit the field with such a bit of momentum. But here comes Logan Gill looking to the outside. It's close. He was just shut out there though by Ryan Wayne. These are the two who are fighting for the win in Darlington tonight, and Ryan Wayne goes big sideways off of turn 2. Here comes Logan Gill to the outside, and he leads coming into 3.
That's that short late pace, and then we know of Wayne. This time around he didn't have any traffic to deal with, but he's certainly got a little bit loose on out of the corner there, and it's cost him that P1 position. But you give him some time, he should be able to make it back up. Look at this battle for the P4 at the moment, and McCook gets past Kevin Narad as well too in the background, up in the P4. Wow, you can't be doing any fuel saving if you're racing at this pace. Wayne gets a little loose again.
Indeed. McCook is going to have to come in to serve his black flag, by the way, if that is still standing. I'm not sure if it is, but Wayne is getting destroyed by Gill early on here. Not sure whether this is a bit of fuel. I mean, Logan Gill's not even going to bother trying to make it on fuel because he can't. He pitted 10 laps before by Wayne anyway. I wonder whether Wayne is thinking this could go green to the end given the lack of cautions we've seen so far. So I'm going to make sure I can make it on fuel to the end, and if there's another caution, worst comes to worst, I'll be brought back to Logan Gill under the yellow.
That's right, Logan Gill's not saving anything. He just set the fastest lap of the race too at the moment on some freshers, so he's loving the way that car is, but he needs to find what are the situation that he can do with the pit stops later on. If there's going to be another caution or something like that, that's the situation. So, as you can see, we're on board right there with Howard. And who is that? We've got that's
Slawson.
That's Slawson in the middle there. It's getting a little confusing. Yeah, that's Slawson's.
Yes, it is. McCook is not serving a black flag, so he's got that cleared.
Might have cleared it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think he might be race controller himself, isn't he? So he might have cleared his own black flag.
I'll retract my earlier comments then. It's not such a bad call. He did get the lap and he got the fuel, so there you go.
You're trying to pick on the boss here, Ewan.
I know.
You want to be back in season 3?
I'm shooting at the wrong. I've not chosen the target very well there. I just didn't see the vision clearly. People's still very much the leader though of those who are one lap down, and that's contact with the wall. Yeah. How People's just off of turn 4, making a bit of contact there, and he'll get away with it. But it was another little bit of contact with the barriers. There's the split in strategies we've seen so far tonight. Look at that all the way down the field. I should apologise to Floyd as well. He needed damage repairs, so that's why he came in.
Yeah, there's traffic at the moment. That's Slauson. Well, it's not. Slauson's just racing, of course. He's just trying to keep himself in the mix, being 2 laps down. But it's going to be a little frustrating, you'd say, there for Wayne and Howard, considering they're not battling with them. But you never know.
I feel like Slauson's almost too nervous to overtake Wayne. He doesn't want to, he's fast enough to unlap himself, I think, but he doesn't want to interfere with the race leader. Well, one of the two on the lead lap, indeed. Logan Gill's the race leader, but I think Slauson is quicker, but is almost too nervous to show it at the moment. Peoples maybe gets ahead and shows him how it's done. He might well follow through, but these two queuing up behind Wayne are just taking their time, and now Peoples is going to come through and show him how it's done. And Wayne is clearly slowing on the backstretch there. I think he is doing a bit of fuel saving here. And now Slauson is going to follow Peoples through. So he was a little bit tentative about passing somebody on the lead lap, but he's done it now.
Very slow lap that's going to be from Wayne, isn't it? And he's going to be unlapped by who's that behind him currently at the moment too. That's P7. That's Compton. That. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to maybe letting Compton come through anytime soon.
So actually Slauson's got to get on with it as well, because that's actually a pass for position there, or could be for 6th between Slauson and Compton. 2 laps down.
There it is. So that indicates that that's probably fuel saving, isn't it, from Wayne? Let's go on board.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look. So turned it off.
Yeah, let's just be quiet for a moment, and we'll listen to Ryan Wayne, see what fuel saving is doing, if any. Well, we've got a bit of clutch action, Biggles. We've got a bit of clutch action. Ryan Wayne is trying to make this car go all the way home.
Is it complete clutch, or was he actually done? Some of the drivers just turn the engine off. I think
he might be doing that as well.
Saves you more if you can actually just switch the engine off and then switch it back on again. Yeah, when you let it coast in the corners. But that's definitely confirmed. Something Logan Gill's not doing at this point.
No, although he has slowed down, Gill, quite dramatically in the last 2 laps. Not sure quite why, whether he's hit the wall or something, but he's slipping down the fastest 5. The last lap was a 31.6 from him. He was in the 30s until recently. We're extending his lead in the way that he was before. While he was letting those drivers through, by the way, Ryan Wayne went down into the 32s for at least 2 laps. But as you commented at the time, he was absolutely fine with that because he was just saving fuel. Logan Gill isn't, and there's no point because he pitted 10 laps before Wayne, and it's going to be quite a stretch to get the 39 to the end. Gill hasn't got hope.
No, and there's no fuel saving here for Gill, as you can clearly see. Unless it's fully red line, he's not turning it off. You'd be turning it off there. Just let it coast in. That's interesting. Yeah, I think Wayne as well too, because of that little bit of fuel saving we now can clearly see. But at the same time too, protecting the tyres too. There's no point in this battle with these drivers if you're on a completely different strategy, isn't it? Trying to fight your way around and chewing through those boots that you're going to need at the very end of the race if there's no late caution or anything. And they'll be pretty worn.
Well, we're getting to the stage where Gill might start to come in for some new tyres, by the way. Just over 30 laps to go. He's nearly 30 laps into a stint. There it is. So, he might carry on for... well, put it this way, I'd be surprised if he goes further than 10 laps. I want to try and even this out as much as he can.
Yeah.
Unless he just stays out to try and hang on for a caution, but that's a dangerous game.
Well, once again, that I spoke about too, you've always got to allow yourself enough time. So if you do come in, you're going to have to do some overtakes. So you want to give yourself enough time to get those overtakes done on those fresh boots. You know, put qualifying laps in after qualifying laps all the time. And do that. You don't want to wait to the very last 10 laps or something, because you're just not going to have enough time to get those overtake done. That's Kevin Nerat in.
Yeah, that's the change. Kevin Nerat is in from being 1 lap down. He's now 2 down and he's dropping down the field. He's on a similar strategy though to Gill and Peoples. So that is maybe a sign that the overall race leader might be coming in soon. Yeah. But look at how Peoples, by the way, where he is in relation to Logan Gill at the moment. Yeah. He is 1 lap down, but directly behind the race leader.
Yeah.
He might be able to unlap himself the old-fashioned way here.
And he's got, what is that, Slawson behind him, I think is well termed. Going to
Yeah.
push along. Yeah. This is something that Logan Gill's not going to want to have, this situation, isn't it? Unless Gill just wants to just lift off and run past. But he doesn't want to afford to lose too much time. He's got a 3-second gap to Wayne, remember, in a fin. And we know that Logan Gill has to come back down again. So you might as well let those leaders in there or come in soon if I was Gill. Then get out there on those four freshies and then just try and slice your way back up to the field.
Yeah. The problem is, though, that I'm envisaging now, as we've hit 30 laps to go, Gill in his pit stop is going to lose a lap to Wayne. He's going to be a lap down, as is everybody, as McCook comes in now as well. Surely Peoples and Gill have got to respond soon. Wayne is going to be on his own on the lead lap. A caution is not actually going to catch those guys up to Wayne, because Wayne won't pit. He'll stay out to trap them all a lap down, and the fuel situation for Wayne will be made much, much easier by a caution as well. So he's lapping every which way round at the moment. The thing he's got to focus on at the moment, Wayne, more than anything else, make sure you've got enough fuel to go to the end if it stays green all the way to the end. That's the most easy way he can lose it from here. The other ways are much more difficult. The easiest way for him to lose it is not doing enough fuel saving and not being able to make it home. He has to make it home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you made your bed and it's time to lay in it. That's the situation that he's in.
Yeah.
As you can see, they're just slowly dropping off the pace. Still doing good pace, but you can see Ryan Wayne still in the top three. And you can see Logan Gill's the one that's having a drop off here, because look at he has to navigate with. What's interesting as well, too, is Kevin Nerat's still in the pit box. He's been there for 2 minutes, so he must have got some damage. Oh!
Oh no! Contact!
Wow!
How has that not caused a caution? I've got no idea.
Yeah.
The 11 of Andrew Floyd spun across the racetrack in front of the race leader. And I've got no idea how there's no caution.
That's crazy, isn't it? That could have been a bad situation. And maybe a little bit of damage as well, too, on Logan Gill's car. But, whew, that was a scary moment.
That's a classic case of a backmarker watching the mirrors too much and getting into that jagged wall.
Well, that'll give the lap, won't it? Back to Howard.
It does. Oh dear, and Floyd's missed the pit lane now.
Yeah, we go back all the way around again. Love the livery on the green and gold. Is it John Deere? But, yeah, it's just struggling right now, isn't it? That's busted up there. Oh, it's Quaker Steak.
Very bad damage there.
And there goes Gill saying, stay away from me, please. It almost took me out last time.
Yes.
It's helped Wayne
behind Gill again.
Yeah. Right.
Wayne is going a lot quicker, which is making me think one of two things. Either he's done the fuel saving, finding that hard to believe, and there he shuts the engine off, or he's given up on it and he's going to stop again. I don't know which one it is.
Maybe he might have thought that could have been a possible caution come out, wasn't it? Look at that. It's going to get sliced and diced paper right past Gill.
Straight past him, roaring past, and Brian Wayne is back to the front again. He's going to lead more than 100 laps tonight, I think, no matter what happens now.
Yes, sir. I think he will. Let him go to the end. Has Floyd had a moment? Oh, he's missed the pit lane entrance again. He might have something bent that steering wheel. Oh, that'll cause a caution.
Oh, and there is a caution.
Yeah. Well,
that is at the dream time for Gill, because he hadn't stopped yet.
Yeah.
Peoples will be filthy with himself that he's let himself get off the lead lap. It's going to be Wayne and Gill. Wayne might as well come in now.
I think he might as well,
yeah. 4 more tyres.
Yeah, exactly, because he's got the lead. He's got really nothing to lose, apart from maybe a couple of those drivers like McCook. They're already a lap down anyway, so I think it'd be too much of a risk, wouldn't it, for Wayne? You don't want to be fuel coasting in the dying stages of this race with everybody else with fresh tyres and fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. Get that last little bit of fuel in. Though he maybe doesn't need any, but just to be sure, get a little bit more fuel in and get 4 sets of tyres on, or 4 tyres on indeed, one set, of course. I think he's got only 1 set left, but with only 23 laps to go, those tyres aren't going to go off very much. Even if Gill comes in for a second set in another late caution later, if there is one, I don't think we are going to see those tyres prove too bad. So my prediction is 4 tyres for both of these front two.
Yeah.
It's just a question of who can get into their box and out again first on the race off pit lane.
I reckon somebody might take a gamble here and just take 2. Take 2,
Okay.
and you can put yourself to the lead of this race if those other drivers take 4, or at least these ones that are close, as you can tell. People still hasn't come down to pit road yet, so he's in that P3 position.
No.
So this will be a race off pit road here at the moment. Make it perfect.
Wayne's not on the jacks.
Yep.
Wayne's not on the jacks.
No.
No
But Gil
tyres.
is.
Yep, all 4, and that's the right call. I think the 4 tyre call's the right one at this stage, personally. I know he's not got track position, but he has made the right call for me. Hal Peoples has got a black flag now as he entered the pit lane.
yeah.
He might have been speeding on the way in. That'll be very damaging.
That's a podium, perhaps.
I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he'll be off the lead lap now. Well, he might have been anyway, but I think he definitely will be now.
It's a bit dinged up at the back there too. You can see he's hit the fence a couple of times. Will he elect to do any repairs this late into the race? I don't know. He hasn't. So that's up on the jacks to take 4. I think he will be. Yeah, it'll be 4. We'll go up on the other side. Gonna wait for the jack men. Only two
damaged,
tyre
isn't
men,
it,
aren't
that
they?
car?
It is. That's what I'm thinking. So, what's he doing there?
He fired and then stopped. Jason
What?
McCook gets the wave around, by the way. I think
no,
Howard Slauson will too.
I think that was a penalty to serve the black flag, wasn't it? Or is he has to go back down again?
It might be served as an end of line. I don't know. Maybe he'll have to come in when we go green. That will be a shame.
So how long are these tyres now? I mean, that Wayne has done, because obviously just picked up fuel only. So how
For
many laps
Wayne,
was it?
They are nearly 30 laps old, those tyres.
Yeah.
He pitted on lap 98 under the second caution for 4 more tyres.
Then Logan Gill's got 4 freshies. And they're already the hand on the championship trophy for this season as well, too. And once again, we did say at the top of the hour, didn't we? What a way to wrap up the championship would be to win the final race of the season as well.
Yeah, indeed.
I think Warren Wayne's going to try to have something to say about that.
We'll try and spoil the party best he can. As we come back to green, only 2 side by side. It's a bizarre look, isn't it? Just 2 on or 3 on the lead lap rather. People's getting the wave round at the back end. He's only just catching up to the back of the train now, though. Ryan Wayne on 30 lap old tyres with still 20 laps to go, taking a splash of fuel under that caution to make sure we could get home. Logan Gill taking all 4 tyres, and he's going to be putting the pressure on in a brilliant finale here in the NASCAR Racing Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I wonder if Wayne knows that as well too from his engineer, his spotter, to let him know. So he's got to be defensive here as much as possible. He just needs his laps to click through. If not, perhaps a couple of late race cautions as well too, so he can just continue to maintain the lead. But he's under massive attack from Gill here. Going to be a very difficult drive when you don't have the boots.
It is. I mean, I'm not sure whether Ryan Wayne even had a set of tyres to go to down on pit lane. I thought he had one left, but maybe he didn't even have that, and that's why he's been put in the position that he did at the moment. Whatever way round it is, Ryan Wayne has not got the tyres underneath him right now for when he needs it. And Logan Gill goes to the inside here at Darlington, looking to cap off the season with a win. Wayne on the outside, still looking okay because the high side's where you want to be, but he tucks in now, and Logan Gill leads. And once again here tonight at Darlington.
Trying to hold off some cars. Remember that a car behind him as well too. That's Todd Slauson. He is a lap down, so he wants to get past both these drivers so he can get back into the lead lap there and hope that there's another late race caution here. But Gill's gone. Wayne, it might not have been a call. Maybe he just said if he had tyres, he should have probably taken them, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. But as I say, maybe he didn't have them. In that case, yeah. Don't forget, he did make a tyre change when most others, including Gill, didn't earlier. Right. He made a tyre change with Love, if you remember, very early in the race.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it was the first caution when he did that. Was that the set of tyres that he used then that Logan Gill is using now to to take the race win away from him.
I think it might be very much so because Gill's gone. We know he's going to start setting fastest laps after fastest laps here. Wayne tried to hold him off as long as he possibly could, but it just wasn't enough, is it? It's too difficult with the difference in those tyres there. I mean, 10-lap difference of tyres, stuff like that, as you know, isn't too bad. It's manageable, but what, a 30-lap tyre difference? I guess that's at best at the moment here. I don't know what possibly he could do. He's just got to try to hold off Howard, who's going to be coming in the background pretty quickly as well too. Howard took tyres, I think, or at least a little bit of repair too, because he was in the box for 24 seconds stationary in that last pit stop. So I think Ryan Wayne's going to be...
we saw him take the tyres.
That's
all
right.
Four. There they are, but yeah, he did need some repairs too. I don't think he's got a particularly fast car at the moment, actually. He's not getting that much closer to Ryan Wayne, even despite this. Wayne is he's slower in the average. Slawson and McCook are both faster. They've both got themselves past Wayne. They're going to have a hard time fighting their way past Logan Gill, though, because if there is a caution, Gill would effectively be just inviting them to fight with him for the race win, and he won't want that.
So Howard's got a bit of traffic to navigate through as well. It's not going to be easy because they're up full speed. And one of those drivers took some tyres and fuel in the last pit stop. So Howard needs to be very, very consecutive here. He needs to just keep that. There it is. So he's sliced his way up into that P4 position for the last 5 laps there. That's perfectly fine. He just needs to make sure that you don't see no Ryan Wayne in that top 5.
Indeed. 13 laps to go at the line. It looks like Logan Gill might well get his crowning moment. He's started all of the races this season. He's one of the relatively few drivers to have done that. Shout out to Jason McCook, Jay Trockey, for being the other two to have been at every single of the 14 rounds in the Oakhouse Racing Xfinity Series this season, but he's won 6 of them. A win tonight would give him a 50% record for the season, put him way ahead of the next closest to is Brad Compton, who's taken 2 victories. Kevin Nerra, Ryan Wayne also another one of those who's taken just one, as well as George Karafidis much earlier this season, Frank Marchese as well at Daytona early on.
He'd be happy with that. I mean, Gill missed out on the championship in the Truck Series because he couldn't make the final race. Unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes these things get in the way, don't they?
Yeah, only race.
Unfortunately.
He had to miss, unfortunately, was the championship race for the Truck Series. But no problems in this one. As you said, the championship was already wrapped up prior to going into this round. But of course, what a way to wrap up your championship season by stepping on the top step of the podium.
Now, I should say he did need to start tonight, but he didn't need any, because obviously you don't get any points at all if you don't start. But even Burns, who finishes down in 15th place tonight, will be receiving 118 points for his efforts. So he just needed to start tonight, and that's what he's done. He's done more than that, indeed. With 10 laps to go, he is about to, I think, take on a 7th race victory of the season. I'd say that's a 50% win rate. That's not bad going.
Yeah, take that any day of the week. Howard's not been able to make any serious impression into Ryan Wayne's laps. Not enough to make a difference in order. One thing to catch, another thing to overtake too. With 10 laps to go, he'd have to be at least a second a lap quicker, and he's not. As Russo's got a meatball flag, I don't see what happened. He's in pit lane now. Maybe he just come off something there. Maybe hit a wall there and quickly towed. Didn't quite see it, but didn't bring a caution out.
Nope. Maybe that was the cause for one of the cautions we didn't see.
Yeah, quite possibly.
No idea really. But what have you made tonight of the sort of amount of incidents we've seen based on compared to what you were expecting? I mean, we've got 6 retirements, which is a pretty high percentage of the field, but we've only had 3 cautions. I personally think we've done pretty well tonight, really, considering it's Darlington. Yeah,
exactly. Darlington can be one of those races where you could have a ton of cautions. Seen that before, but tonight, just with a handful of them, it's not too bad. absolutely great. You can see this just looks like a car that Logan wants to drive now. Once we get to speak to him, no doubt, at championship later. And as Tristan out there, he's the goat. Yep, Logan Gill. Yep, that's right. We'll have the championship win, which he already has at the moment, and of course he'll be on that top step to celebrate his 50% win record rate of this season. And that seems like the car he likes it. He likes it just to slide a little bit into the wall at last, and the rear steps out, I think. Well, we'll speak to him about that, obviously, very soon. And please stick around for the post-race interviews. And we'll find out about what happened with the car at the start when he didn't seem to be as quick. But made the right strategy call on that one, didn't he? Ryan Wayne, unfortunately, will have to, as you know, settle in for that P2 position now. And then we'll talk to him as well, hopefully. And he can ask us about if he had a set of tyres left to be on, because that's what we've kind of been pondering.
If he did, he's made a catastrophic error, expecting there will be another caution, and there still might be, but I suspect the answer is more likely to be I didn't have a set of tyres left. By the way, if Logan Gill does come in here and say I was tight at the beginning, but I've got the car looser and more to my liking later on, you can give yourself a pat on the back, because you spotted that very early on, I must say.
Well, I could be completely wrong.
This race.
Who knows? But following him all season long, you just see that, and he has mentioned it before in interviews when he does like the car the rear end to step out a little bit for him, so you can feel it. And you can push it more, can't you? You can definitely push the car a lot more then, because it won't just grab and then snap on you. And that's when you start seeing those spins out of usually turn 3s you find on most racetracks.
It does depend on the driving style. I mean, I know from my personal experience, I do much prefer a tight race car. I don't like to be fighting it, really. Some guys are able to deal with it. It's the way they go quickly. Other people prefer it to be further planted to the road, but there's no doubt Logan Gill makes it work very, very well indeed when he's just got that little bit of looseness in the race car. He's shown it time and again this season. This is a little bit further down with Kevin Narrat, who's had a long stoppage throughout this race. It's 5 minutes, his previous pit stop, which came just before the last caution of the day. He still retained 7th place though. And Kevin Narrat started the day 30 points in front of Chaser McCook, who's only in 5th position. So the difference between them on the day, only 9 points. Narrat will indeed come home with a 3rd place in the championship behind Brad Compton, who is going to come home 6th tonight and finish 2nd in the point standings.
And still finishing that P7 after almost 5 minutes of repairs is not a bad position. You have to say John Edwards as well too, P9. He had almost for 5 minutes worth of repairs to chip out on a relatively short track as well too. Like here, you definitely keep yourself a couple of laps down. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's a long stop for him, but in time. The white flag is out at Darlington Raceway. Logan Gill has had a brilliant Oakhouse Racing Xfinity Series. He's already accumulated nearly 2,000 points. He'll be the only driver to tick over that here. He'll end the season with a 50% win record as well. That is a sign of a dominant driver and a deserving champion in the Oakhouse Racing Xfinity Series. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Logan Gill, a winner at Darlington and a champion in the Oakhouse Racing Xfinity Series.
Brilliant work. Great strategy call at the end to get the race win over the man that had been dominating most of the laps in this race, who actually will take out the most laps led as well, too, Ryan Wayne. He'll end up finishing in that P2 position, and then Howard Peoples will make up the final podium position with the remaining drivers all a lap or more down.
Yeah, that's remarkable, isn't it? The way that guys have come off the lead lap in such numbers here today. We had 2 restarts in this race where there were only 2 on the lead lap. Pretty remarkable. You do not see that every week, that's for sure. But Gill is going to have some very enjoyable burnouts, I'd imagine, on the pit straight here. Race winners burnouts from tonight at Darlington, but also champions burnouts as well. As I mentioned, he only needed to start tonight, really. He was 151 points behind, ahead of Brad Compton. In any case, Compton would have needed a top 5 tonight, even if Gill didn't turn up, and that didn't happen either. But anyway, Gill made absolutely sure of it He takes race winners' points along with points for laps led. In the end, though, the driver that led more than 100 laps tonight is not going to be the race winner. That is not said very often. Logan Gill takes the race win in front of Ryan Wayne and Howard Peoples. We'll speak to those podium drivers in a moment, but before that, let's just run through the rest of your results here tonight after 200 miles at Darlington. Fourth place went to Todd Slauson, first of those on the one lap down in the end. Jason McCook with him. Brad Compton ended up 2 laps down in 6th place. As I say, ending second in points. Ahead of third place in points, Kevin Nerat had a 5-minute stop towards the end there, dropped into 7th on to Frank Ranger's lap actually in 8th. John Edwards was the last driver to complete the race on the racetrack with a 15-minute repair towards the end of that race. Then those non-finishers, Andrew Floyd, John Russo, Jamel Love, Kenneth Bohm, Jay Truckey and James Burns, all retiring from the race. Let's go the wrong way up the podium, shall we, and start with Howard Peoples tonight, who finishes in 3rd place at Darlington. Howard, welcome and good to have you with us. Congratulations on finishing on the lead lap, which is an achievement that most can't say tonight, and getting to the top 3 as well. How was it? How difficult was that tonight?
Oh, Darlington's one of those places where you just got to race the racetrack, and it's hard. I'd say the hardest track in NASCAR, and it's pretty nice to get a podium at my home track, so pretty good.
I said in the broadcast today that Darlington rated as a very difficult racetrack, but I still think it's underrated as far as difficulty is concerned. Just tell us about the strategy element of tonight. You were one of 3 drivers actually on the lead lap by the end, but how much thinking about how to get back on after the caution that trapped you a lap down, how much thinking about the rest of the race were you doing on just solely getting back onto that lead lap?
Yeah, unfortunately, on the pit sequence, I got trapped a lap down, and thought we were going to be probably P3 anyway, but yeah, so we just tried to race our way back on the lead lap for a while, and that didn't really work out because we got in an accident there. So then we got back on, and then I couldn't get caught up to the leaders. Yeah, so it was just trying to get back on the lead lap, and then we run out of time. And then get the caution we need at the end to have a chance to win.
Well done on getting to a solid 3rd place finish though tonight. As I say, most can't say they ended up on the lead lap. So congratulations on that. Thanks for joining us all season, of course, not only in the Truck Series but also the Xfinity Series here as well. And hopefully we'll see you in the middle of May for the start of next season.
Yes, sir, absolutely. I just want to say a big thank you to Carolina Wheel Repair as well, and big congrats to my good buddy Logan. He did a great job all season and kicked everybody's butt, so he deserved that championship.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for chatting to us. Howard Peoples, 3rd place tonight at Darlington. Cheers. Thanks very much. 3rd place at Darlington tonight, Howard Peoples. We'll continue. We're making Logan wait a little bit, but we'll continue working our way up way up the podium with Ryan Wayne, who finishes 2nd tonight. Ryan, welcome in. Good to have you with us, and congratulations on finishing 2nd. Although I'm not sure how you're going to be feeling at the end of that. You've led 102 laps, but the crucial ones at the end were not yours to lead. Just talk us through where you are at the moment. Pleased with 2nd, or disappointed you couldn't close out the win?
To be honest with you, pretty heartbroken tonight. Felt like had probably the fastest car tonight. Jamel and I were really good on the long green flag run, and this came down right at the end. I didn't have a set of tires, and Logan Gill did. I mean, congrats to Logan Gill on the win, but overall feeling for the night, just very disappointed and heartbroken.
That was the big question I was going to ask you about that final caution, because we were saying, well, why wouldn't he take tyres at that point? But the obvious conclusion being that you didn't have a set. Were you thinking about that earlier in the race? Because you and Jamal both came in to take 4 tyres when all the others, like Gill and some others as well, only took fuel under, I think it was the first caution of the day. Was it present in your mind at that point that you might pay for that later, or was that not in your thinking at that early stage?
To be honest with you, once we got to about lap 120, when I saw Logan Gill come down pit road, I knew he was going to put on his last set of tires, and I knew at that point I was out of tires, and my best bet was just hope the race would go green, and at that point I was just saving fuel, just trying to make it to the end, and hopefully it went green, and Fortunately, that caution came out, and it ended up burning me right at the end.
And by the way, how close would that have been on the field if it had gone all the way?
I would have been probably half a lap short if I had continued the pace that I was running.
Okay, so yeah, it was a fascinating. Well, I mean, for obviously for you were hoping that it would stay green. For us, we were either going to be interested to watch you try and fuel save or get a late race caution. So we were enjoying ourselves either way. But commiserations on not getting the win tonight, Ryan. And I know you'll be disappointed not to have done it after leading so many laps tonight. But it's a great run nevertheless. Thanks for coming to chat to us, and hopefully we'll see you again in the new season in the middle of May.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for commentating, and thank you for Oak House for supporting these races this year.
Thanks very much. That is Ryan Wayne finishing second tonight at Darlington in the finale. That's might well move him further up in the championship as well, into the top 5, despite missing 4 rounds of the season. Let's have a chat to the main man, though, shall we? Logan Gill, our champion and indeed race winner from tonight at Darlington Raceway. Logan, how are you feeling at the end of that? Officially the champion of the Xfinity Series and a race winner tonight too. How are you feeling?
Man, I feel great. It's good to hear that finally. I've been waiting on it, so it's good to hear finally.
Well, it has been a long time coming, and it was a long time coming in this race as well. Talk us through the different rises and falls tonight. And here's the big question, actually, because Biggles spotted something very, very early on in this race, maybe the first 50 laps or so, that your car didn't quite look like it was driving in a way that you would like. We've seen you, we've heard you say many times, we've seen you out there many times looking like, you prefer a little bit of a looser race car. It looked like, Biggles picked this up straight away, it looked like you didn't have that in the early part of the race, but did towards the later point in the race. Would that be fair to say?
I think it would. During that first run, I really just felt way too tight, and I might have burned up my tires a little bit, but I honestly feel like I went harder later in the race. So, yeah, that first run was just too tight, and then on the second and third and final runs, I gassed it up way earlier in 1 and 2, and it just made a big difference. And it did the same to my tires, and it just felt a lot better. So yeah, honestly, just gassing it up a lot earlier in the corner just really worked for me.
There you go, 10 points to Biggles for that one. That spot early on in the day. One more thing, Logan, before we let you go on this race. There was that big strategy call that it really came down to at the end there. We were talking to Ryan there, who was saying he was just praying that it would go green all the way home. And even in that case, he would have needed to do some fuel saving to make it. Were you aware of this, or how aware were you of the scenario developing right from the beginning, right from when you didn't take tyres along with a few others and Ryan and Jamal did?
About 20 laps in after that stop, me and Howard, me and our teammates, we were going over it. We were trying to figure out strategy, and the caution came out at a great time for us for fuel. And, I was, debating on taking tires, but, I didn't think anybody was going to take tires, so I didn't. And, it played out. Strategy, I was scared of it the first half of the race, and then we got caution, so it kind of made it a little easier for me to do. But, I think them guys, I definitely think Ryan was the fastest car tonight. So I could see he kind of got screwed on strategy, man. But, strategy is just one part of racing, man. You got to just have it figured out.
Well, absolutely. You've had all aspects of the races figured out this season, so congratulations on taking your 7th win this season, and indeed finally officially sealing the title of the Xfinity Series tonight. And go and enjoy the victory. Hopefully we'll see you again in May for the start of the new season.
You should, man. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That is Logan Gill, our champion in the Oak House Racing Xfinity Series, capping it off with a victory at Darlington Raceway. Hardly a better way to cap it off, Biggles. Hardly a better way for us to cap it off, actually. I thoroughly enjoyed that race. Only a few cautions throughout. 200 miles of racing. It was close racing. It was physical. There was plenty of guys in the wall, as you'd expect to see at Darlington. A great way to cap off a great season.
Absolutely. And Oak House is no more, but for the season. But of course, we'll be coming with the now rebranded as the American Sim Racer, the Esports League, and broadcasting. And of course, which you mentioned as well, to that schedule. Make sure you pencil that one in, Ewan. As you know, we've got Truck Series and of course this series, the O'Reilly Series. Yeah. on the Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're taking sign-ups at the moment. So probably if you could do both. You save yourself $5 as well on that one, and plus get yourself a nice racing experience with a whole bunch of a fantastic community here that enjoy racing each week. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. The Discord QR is on the screen if you want to get involved. As you say, Truck Series moving to Tuesday nights. The O'Reilly Series, as it's now going to be called, the American Sim Racer O'Reilly Series. So name change on two fronts there. Will be on the Thursday nights now. All broadcasted here on Motormouth Broadcasting. We'll be live just before 8 p.m. Eastern Time on those 2 days for all 10 weeks of the season, ending in Miami after our start, also down in Florida at Daytona. The schedule's the same throughout, other than for the trucks. They'll go to Eldora. O'Reilly's staying at Bristol. The Truck Series races are a little bit shorter, but they are longer than what we had last season, so even more value for money next season in the Truck Series. 200-mile races return in the O'Reilly Series, as we have seen this season. And as we've seen tonight as well, because over the course of 147 laps, it's Logan Gill who crowns off this Xfinity Series championship season with yet another victory. 13 top 5 and top 10 finishes out of 14 starts this season. 7 victories out of 14 rounds as well. Deserving champion for the opening season of 2026. I've been Neil Leary alongside D. Biggles for most of this season in the Outcast Racing Xfinity Series. Make sure you join us in the middle of May for the American Sim Racer Truck Series and O'Reilly Series, starting on May 19th and May 21st. All broadcasted live here on Motormouth Broadcasting. Look forward to your company then, but for now, from all of us from Darlington Raceway, it's goodbye for now.